Hey guys, welcome to another RodzSquad Retro Reviews. Today we're going to go ahead and continue our trend that we've been doing recently with the portables. Today we're going to be talking about the Sega Game Gear. The Sega Game Gear, which was released in 1990, mainly to compete with the Game Boy, of course, and the Atari Lynx and the Turbo Express. So we're going to go ahead and give a close look to the Sega Game Gear.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and give a closer look to the Sega Game Gear right here. Again, released in 1990 by Sega. Again, it was out to compete with the portables at the time, which were the Atari Lynx, Turbo Express, and of course the granddaddy, the Nintendo Game Boy. First released in 1990 in Japan, 1991 in North America, and 1992 in Europe. The Sega Game Gear actually beat out the Turbo Express and the Atari Lynx. Sega at the time was the second only to Nintendo, of course. Was never able to take over from Game Boy. The Game Boy, just with the and we'll discuss what the issues were and the reasons. But before we go into that, let's just describe what we have here. We have a Sega Game Gear. It's about, I don't know, about 9 inches. What do you think about 9 inches, 10 inches in width? It's about, I don't know, about 5 inches maybe 4 inches on horizontally. It's a nice color screen. That's the big difference between this one and the Game Boy. This came out with a color screen. In the back right here is where you would put the games. Right here. Here's the power. Here's the power for the power adapter. Here's the plug for it. Actually, to turn it on, turn it off. This would be for the headphones. Over here is where you would put 6 AA batteries. There's 3 on each side. As you can see, it's 3 on each side. And over here you would have for the contrast, to bring out the picture a little bit better. And over here you would have the links. You could connect the links to it to another Game Gear, it looks like. And over here you would have the sound, the directional pad. Here's the speaker, 1 and 2 buttons, start button. This actually is a portable Sega Master System. If we come down to it, it's actually a portable Sega Master System, and you could actually play Sega Master System games on the Game Gear with an adapter to it. Also, what was really interesting about this system right here is at the time they had a TV tuner, and the TV tuner would be able to connect onto where the port where you put the cartridges in had an antenna to it, and you can actually get local channels in color, which is good because at that time me and my wife actually decided to get a Sega Game Gear in 1991, not the Game Boy. The reason for that is because of the color, of course, and the TV tuner was a huge plus for us at the time. At the time, my wife had it, who's my wife now, my girlfriend at the time, had a fire in her bedroom and she lost everything. So I had got her one of these, and it killed 2 things. She was able to play video games. She was a big Sonic fan, of course. Sonic was really big with her. And of course she had the opportunity to watch her TV. She was a big Beverly Hills 90210, oh my god, fan. But yeah, that's the Sega Game Gear. I'm just going to go ahead and just turn it on real quick, just give you guys an idea of what it actually looked like. I'm going to put in, looks like we have Sonic 2 right there. Okay, and let's see what happens. Okay, let's blow it. Blowing! Blowing! Okay, contrast. That's what it is, the contrast. Sega! You guys heard that? Bring the sound up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna go play. Looks like you can see it pretty good. Looks like this is the intro to Sonic 2. Give you an idea what it looks like. Sonic 2. And we're gonna go ahead and just give you an idea. To me, it looks a little faded, and maybe because of the camera that we're using right now. The picture looks faded. It's really known that these systems right here, in time they become faded because the caps apparently leak and damage the screen itself. So maybe that's what it is. This one needs to be capped. But she's very responsive. The controls are very responsive. Really cool. If you're a Sonic person and you like Sonic, this is pretty cool, especially on the go at the time. So the graphics are really nice. Overall, I am a fan of the Game Gear, but the Game Gear could not defeat the Game Boy. Main reason is if this is a portable system and is meant to be portable, and it required 6 AA batteries. Well, the lifespan for the games of the system itself were really bad. I think you would get maybe 2 to 3 hours of power out of the batteries. It was a battery eater. It just ate all the batteries. So that kind of like was a big knock on it, of course. And with the Game Boy, you could, even though it didn't have the color, the Game Boy was able to give you a nice long lifespan with the batteries that it had. And I think it utilized smaller batteries, less batteries also. But anyway, let's go ahead and give it a final thoughts.
Alright guys, so final thoughts. The Sega of course made a huge impact in the video game industry, especially back in the mid to late 80s and into the mid to 90s. Well, up to the Dreamcast, of course, but at that time, Genesis was the main reason why the Sega did so well. But on a handheld issue, this lasted about until 1996, if I'm not mistaken. But they had introduced the Sega Nomad, which I don't have one right now. I would love one day to have one, so we could discuss that. And that one was able to utilize the actual cartridges that you would use on the Genesis. So it was the second handheld by Sega. But this is for a Sega Master. This was actually a portable Sega Master System. What made it unique is you had the TV tuner, so you also had a color TV. It also was color. It was backlit. So it was really good. It sold about almost 11 million units worldwide at the time, but trumped tremendously by the Game Boy, which sold over 100 million, of course. And the Nintendo Game Boy is the one that really took over. And the portables from Nintendo are still doing very well. But final thoughts. Definitely enjoyed the Sega Game Gear for what it was. It definitely was not something you could put in your pocket, I can tell you that much. But if you had a book bag and you were a kid in school and stuff like that, and you had to go back and forth, or if you were going to work and you had a bag to go to work with, it was something really cool to have, especially if you were on long trips or bus trips and those type of things. So pretty cool. Definitely give a thumbs up to a Sega Game Gear for what it was. I accept it, and Sega kicks butt, man. Thanks for watching, guys. See you guys next time.
Some people are content to be entertained by simple one-color electronics. Somehow these people have just never heard of Game Gear, the multicolor portable from Sega with tons of new titles. Yeah, some people are like that, but then some people like to eat pickled pork lips. System